Hello there everyone, Citrus Aviation here with yet another video, and today we have an Aviation News This Week episode for you all. And I want to thank you all very much for your amazing photo submissions you have submitted to me over the last week or so. This video is coming out fairly late, so there'll probably be this Aviation News This Week video and then another one coming soon thereafter, probably on Monday. This video's, I'm expecting it to come out on Thursday, so I hope you guys are okay with that. And I've been very busy with life and that sort of thing. Staying home, following instructions of the dictators, of cities and states. And yeah, we're going to get started here with this first picture you're seeing. It's of a Thai 747-400. This picture is taken by Mer Spotter. You may be familiar with him. He has a YouTube channel. I'll link it below. And this picture of the Thai 747 was taken on the 15th of February 2020. And this is a fantastic picture. Thank you very much for submitting it, good sir. Alright, that is it for user-generated top photos of the week. We will have some more user-generated images that are also really good, but they go along some news stories, so that's when you'll see them. I really thank you guys for submitting pictures. There'll be an email link down in the description if you want to do that. But I really would like if you guys submit more pictures, because that way I don't have to use jet photos and airlines net pictures so much and have potential copyright issues, because I do give credits to people, but sometimes people don't like the pictures being in the videos or on my Instagram or whatever, so I try to reduce that now. And we're going to get started with the first picture that I found online on jet photos and airlines net. This one is of an Su-30SM Romeo Foxtrot-81881, taken on the 26th of August 2019. Pretty awesome picture there with all the vapor it's making that very high G turn. Next up we have a very awesome picture of another Russian aircraft. This one is of an Aviation IL-76TD. It is registered as Echo Papa, that's Papa Uniform Sierra, taken at Tehran on December 12th, 2019. So it's a very cool picture of this aircraft here. I'm not exactly sure what this aircraft is doing. I don't recognize the airline, but it's a great picture. Next up we have a reflection shot. Another one of those is popping up in this week's Aviation News This Week video. This one is of a Bombardier CRJ-200 LR for Flyest? That's a weird name for an airline. Why would you call your airline Flyest? Sorry for the creak in the chair. My office chair is not that great. But anyway, this aircraft is registered as Lima Victor Hotel Quebec Uniform. Awesome picture. I really like reflection shots because they're very unique. And this one's a nighttime one, which is even better. And then the final highlight picture we have is of this aircraft. This one is of the Ilyushin 76TD again. This one is a Russian one though. And obviously a lot of you are familiar with the AN-124. This is the smaller brother of it. You can see there's all the windows on the bottom there with the little stick out part of the aircraft. You might wonder what that's for, and that's because the Russians built these aircraft not just as cargo airplanes, but also for the purpose of being able to easily be converted to bombers during wartime, and they were also used during the Cold War to spy on American cities. So they would fly over, say, when they're going to, say, DFW, they would maybe fly off course a little bit and do some reconnaissance, which, was slightly, against the laws of international, laws and that sort of thing at the time. But the Russians would do this a lot, and the US would do other things. We'd send V2s and SR-71s in their country. But anyway, there was a lot of politics going on back in the day, just as there are today. Politics isn't really any better than it was back in the day, or technically not any worse either. It's always been kind of back and forth. Anyway, this is a really good picture. I really like this picture with the beautiful, I can't tell if that's a sunrise or sunset, there's no comment, but it's a really nice picture. You'll see this all over the interwebs. Nice picture. Alright, so we have a bunch of news this week that I wanted to cover. This will be a shorter episode for you guys, so you guys can get out sooner. And we have a bunch of news. I want to cover them first with this picture by Mer Spotter. This is another really good picture of a Qantas 747, and as you may know, those were retired recently. I covered that in a previous episode. This picture, and another one you're going to see as well during this topic, was taken on the 16th of February 2020. is a really quality picture of the Qantas 747s, and these were retired recently. However, the CEO of Qantas did say it is possible these aircraft could return. They aren't confirmed retired, but they are most likely retired. Hold up, I need a quick little bit of water. Much better now. Anyway, these aircraft were retired prematurely because of the current pandemic going around. They could come back. Unlikely, seeing as a lot of airlines are also retiring aircraft. There are so many retirements happening so quickly. I'm just going to cover a few in today's video, and then probably on Monday's video I'll cover more in depth with a bunch more that are happening now. But I just wanted to let y'all know that it's possible the Qantas 747s could return. It's theoretically possible, but for now they won't. They're currently in storage. This picture is really nice here, and then there's also this other one. I believe both these pictures are taken at Melbourne. If you're watching, please do comment below to correct me on that one. But I believe these are taken at Melbourne. They're very high quality pictures, so thank you again for your submission. So, and then next up, we have a fantastic image of a Delta 737-900 November 991 DN. And this one was taken on the 4th of January 2019. And this gets to a topic that I wanted to cover, which is the Delta Airlines situation. And I want to mention that this photographer, his YouTube channel will again be linked in the description if you want to check him out. And I'll try to link these photographers' Instagrams as well if I can do that. But there's a situation happening with Delta, with their fleet. They're making major fleet rearrangements. Now, I previously mentioned that the Delta 767s are being retired. I was slightly off on that. They are retiring 20 of them. They're not retiring their full fleet, just 20 of them. And those are the older ones. So some of the new ones most likely will survive for a little longer. Don't know how much longer, but they'll still be around probably until the A330neos become a little more prevalent in Delta's fleet. But yeah, they're going. Interesting situation though is happening with some of the other aircraft in Delta's fleet. Delta has announced the retirement for the MD-88. It will happen in most likely July, maybe August. The date isn't exact, but probably end of July, July 31st timeframe is the retirement date for the Delta MD-88. And there's also a really popular rumor going around that Delta is buying 737 MAX 8. They are going to make an order. They're going to announce an order here within the next couple months to order the 737 MAX 8 to replace the 717s. And the 717s are going to have their leases terminated. So Delta is not going to renew their leases. Their 717 lease renewals are going to be due in the next couple years. And Delta is deciding that they will not be renewing the leases. The popular rumor is that the 737 MAX 8 is going to replace the 717s. However, I have a major issue with this, and that is that they are wrong. The 717 is not going to be replaced by the MAX 8 because the aircraft type are entirely different classes. The 737 fits the more 150 pack, middle of the market narrow-body aircraft, with things like a 757 being the large narrow-body aircraft. The problem is that the 737 MAX 8 is much bigger. It's an entire class larger than the 717. So I'm going to propose to you a different theory, and that's the reason why I mentioned the MD-88, and I'm now going to bring up the A220. Because I think, just take a look at a personal analyst of aviation, I would bet you money that the A220-100s and the upcoming A220-300s are in fact the aircraft that are going to replace the 717. Delta already has a decent number in the fleet, around 20 or 30-ish aircraft, and eventually they're supposed to get 100 total, which will be perfect to replace the full 717 fleet. I think the 737 MAX 8 order is in fact intended to replace the MD-80s. Now, there isn't really a good replacement for the MD-80s right now because of the sped up time frame for the retirement. So most likely a lot of those flights will end up being on 738s, A320s, and 739s and that sort of thing. Probably a different combination of aircraft. But eventually you'll see the 737 MAX 8, if they do order them, take over on routes that are formerly operated by the MD-88. This makes a lot of sense to me. This is more of a logical conclusion than, oh my gosh, MAX 8 is going to be going to replace 717s. I'm like, this has to be something that CNN or something came up with, because they do no research with their news reporting. It just makes no sense. And so I'm just telling you right now, if you really want to know what's probably going to happen, MAX 8 replaces the MD-80s, and the A220s replace 717s. Also, the A220s might also have a role in replacing the A319s. Those are probably going to be due for retirement soon. A lot of those were built in the 90s, and so they're pretty old aircraft. They're old Northwest aircraft. The A320s were built in the early 1990s. Most of those that Northwest has, and they are probably also going to get replaced probably by something like this, their already existing 738 fleet or something like that. Possibly the A220-300s might do that as well, as those are incoming aircraft. So there is a more reasonable, logical argument of what might happen. Alright, we have another news item. Oh, someone subscribed to me. Thank you very much. Here on my email, and I get notifications. But we have another interesting item. Thank you to AvGeek 147 for these pictures. His father took these when departing Roswell International Airport recently. And for those of you who are interested, Roswell Air Center, as is commonly known as, is a famous storage facility. So I have some pictures here that you'll be seeing on the screen. You'll be obviously seeing a full screen view. I kind of get a little different view when I'm making these videos, but I make them nice so you guys can enjoy it. So these pictures here, the first one you're seeing is of a bunch of Frontier and United aircraft with some American aircraft being parked. So as you can see, Frontier is parking up a large portion of the fleet. Fun fact, the A319s are all going here, so the A319s for Frontier are also gone. I'll cover that later. You can see a bunch of United's older aircraft here are here as well. You can see a 738, A320, and a 75. And you can see some American aircraft. Alright, if we go to the next picture, you can see American's A330 fleet is here, as well as the 75s, some MD-80s, and a bunch of other aircraft. So these are aircraft in this picture. These are aircraft that are here for permanent retirement. These ain't just temporary. These are permanently gone. And the next picture is of a large portion of their recently retired 75 and 737 fleet. Now I believe most of these are also permanently gone as well, but you never know. Next up, we have an aircraft that is just here on temporary storage, and that is the Astrojet 737-800. This is a retro aircraft. This one, I can almost guarantee you, is just here temporarily. It will return to service. You can see some other American 738s, and you can see an Eastern 737. So as you may have heard, Eastern was a charter airline for a while. I think they started around 2014, and then they filed for bankruptcy around 2016 time period. And that's one of their 737s there. That's probably there until a customer buys it or it just gets scrapped. And then the final picture for y'all is of some 777s and 737s. These aircraft are probably just here temporarily, and they will probably eventually return to service when things get back more normal. Alright, so that being said, there are some good fleet news items. So these are taken from Airlines.net. And this one is from February 26, 2020. There was a new special livery on a Japan Airlines Connect ATR 42-600, registered as Juliet Alpha 11 Hotel Charlie. I don't know what this special livery is, but I think it looks kind of cool. Next up, we have the very first A320neo for Vistara Airlines. They have again a bunch of new aircraft over the last year or so, as you might have seen from my ANTW videos. They got a 7879 recently and an A320neo, and now they're going to begin an A321neo. This aircraft currently wears the test registration of Delta-Alpha Zulu Alpha Romeo, and this one is taken in Hamburg. I do not know what the eventual delivery registration is, but this is an A321-251NX. So this is the extended range version of the A321. The Airbus facilities have also gone on slower production. So as you may know, Boeing's taken the responsible decision to just stop production altogether at their facilities in Washington, and that's partly because they have a lot of PR issues to deal with. They don't need the sickness that's going around to be another problem for them. And Airbus, they're reducing production to about 20% of what they normally do, and they're still producing some aircraft. So this is one of those. And we have a couple more. The very first A320neo here for Saudi Gulf. This one was taken on the 20th of April, just as the previous one was. And this is also a Hamburg. You can see this is parked up at a facility there. Bristol Delta-Alpha Uniform Alpha Mike. It's A320-251N. I do not know what the delivery registration will be, but this is actually kind of a cool livery. I kind of do like a lot of the liveries for airlines in the West Asian, Middle East area. A lot of those liveries are quite nice. And then next up, or actually the last news item we have, is of this first E170-200LR for Jasmine Airways, registered as Tango Sierra-India Juliet Bravo. And this is taken in Cologne in Germany on the 24th of April 2020. So there is still some good new fleet stuff happening, and we will eventually be out of this virus and back to more normal life. So I guarantee you things are getting better. Some states here in the United States are going to reopen here very soon. And so things will get back to normal, guys. And I hope you guys continue to have hope that life will return to a more normalcy in the near future. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and God bless you. Next up, we have the very first A321neo for Vistara. For Vistara. This is taken in Cologne.